Welcome back. It's your boy ADHD, and we are here with another video on, well, basically KSP. This is the third one, and we're starting off with a satellite mission given to us by Periapsis Rocketry or whatever. Um, so I decided to name these a little bit interesting. I decided to name these after like mythical objects. This first one, it's gonna be called Amen Onukohoko, which means jeweled spear of the heavens. You see me looking up what these are right now, and yeah, this is a satellite for Periapsis, and its goal is to go, I think, a little bit further out than geostationary, so it's moving slower than the rotation of the planet, which is interesting. Um, and then, yeah, so here it is to launch, and basically, it started its gravity turn pretty late, mainly because I tried several times and it just flipped out off the pad. It has very low gimbal. The gimbal is very bad, so it can't really hold itself up that well. And then there's the legendary cross. I always forget what it's called. It's something by the Soviet Union has a name for it, and it's really popular. It looks absolutely amazing when it's done. Yeah. Anyway, I need to learn how to talk during these because I always have no clue what to say, and sometimes these are a little long. Anyway, so we are up and about to circularize our orbit, and I extended the antennas and everything, and this is for a contract for, I think it's over $100,000 just to put this satellite up into orbit, which is pretty helpful. As you just saw, I circularized my orbit, and I just made a maneuver node to bring out my, what is it, Apple Apps all the way up to where injection will be. So this is a what do you call a further out than it's not geostationary because it's further out, so it's like geo negative or something. I don't know. Anyway, so that's where we're putting our satellite, and here it is circularizing up there, and our mission is complete. All I have to do is separate from the main part and do the necessary things, and that was about it. Now, starting off with our second build here, it is Artemis 4. Now, unlike most of the rest of the Artemis program, this will probably be the only unmanned probe that we'll use in the Artemis program, mainly because we couldn't send a man. It was too heavy. We couldn't get it back with the amount of science that we're able to use and things like that. Now, that will get fixed by this launch. This launch will get us to the point where we no longer need to just sacrifice probes at the moon. So that's kind of useful. This will land on, I think it's just barely on our side of the moon, so it's not on the dark side of the moon. And it will land near the huge massive crater. I forget what it's called. And also, by the way, its bottom stage is absolutely hilarious to me because it's just a whole bunch of like rocket boosters, and it's just genuinely excessive. But that's what I had to do in order to get it there. Like, I could not use anything else. Like, this is how hard it was for me to get into orbit at this time. Not orbit, but like to the mun at this time. Like, it was practically undoable by a manned flight. Yeah, I just could not pack enough Delta V. If I would have left Jeb stranded on the mun, and that would have not have been very good. Because when I send him, I don't normally send an antenna, so I kind of need him back. But I couldn't do that. All right, now we are circularizing around the around Kerbin. And man, I bit my tongue not too long ago, and man, it hurts. It really hurts. So now we are just waiting till we can fire away. Also, if you notice anything other than me talking really weird with my tongue, it's also because I'm sick. Yeah, I kind of got a cold in the last couple of days. It hasn't been very fun. Especially since, like, you don't have COVID. I'm tested negative. But everyone's like, huh, you coughed. Oh my God. And it's just like, come on, dude. I don't have it. I've already had COVID. I know this isn't COVID. Feels nothing like COVID. Fuck off. Yeah. So now we're circularizing around the mun. And now I'm bringing down my periapsis. And I'm about to bring myself in real close. Now this part right here, I had to do it past the actual maneuver node because of oh wait, I guess this is on the dark side of the mun, or partially. Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, what I do know is that this landing was not exactly favorable. Especially just watch how this plays out. I mean, I thought everything was going great. I thought we had a great place to land. And then I found out that this is basically a ski slope for rockets. And I just start sliding. So I started to do my experiments and everything, and then I flipped it around and then fired it. But I could have left this where it is right now, but I decided I wanted to try and get it off the ground and probably go to another biome. This was not a good idea. Not at all. It was poor planned. And there you go. There you see the booster just slamming into the cliff behind it. Alright, now here we are at Artemis 5. Our last mission of the day. Wow. Now this will be our manned landing on the mun. Using our resident daredevil, Jeb Kerman. And he will be bringing a litany of science experiments with him. I tried to make the Artemis, the Artemis 5 probe look decently nice. I think I got that. Handled. I hope. Yeah, and then I tried to make the overall ship look like a nice ship. I didn't know what to do. I was very scared about this mission because I didn't really know how well it would work. Mostly due to how easy it is to just blow up your rocket on the way to the moon, and especially in early game, like you don't have any clue what you're doing early game, like. But that's like the funnest part about the early game is like you can just build these ridiculous looking rockets and then just kind of like throw them at the wall because of budget constraints and things like that. Like in the last episode, we launched a whole bunch of Kerbals on a $21,000 rocket. Like, it was literally just a solid rocket booster ICBM, and it got the job done. Yeah, and so finally I can also do EVA, so I had to do an EVA report when I got up there. Yeah, so we've ditched the first stage, and it will fall back to the surface where it will, disintegrate. And now we are working on circularizing. There we go. That is the circularization done, and then I'm trying to create an encounter with the Mun. Now we start our burn at periaps towards the Mun. And if you don't know, if you burn at periaps, it's actually a whole lot more, like, you waste a whole lot less fuel if you do it due to the Oberth effect and things like that. It's very useful. It's incredibly fuel efficient. And I do basically the same approach as I did with the Artemis 4 lander. Except this time I'm aiming for a different biome. Now, this time I'm aiming for the massive crater on the front of the Mun. And hopefully, I'll hit it. It's quite beautiful just seeing the Mun just scream at you from the distance. Alright, now we are circularizing around the Mun, performing our capture burn, as it is technically called. And there we are. Now, down there I am going to, it's not called an entry burn. I think you can say it's like a pre-landing burn. It's a deorbit burn. It's a deorbit burn. That's what that is. And so now we're performing the deorbit burn straight for that crater on the dark side of the moon. And now I start up the engines for the landing burn. Now this landing burn actually took a long time. Like you're seeing it at 5 times speed, and it took forever because of how weak the engine was and the speed that we were going. It just took forever. And so I was like, you know what, might as well do some science while I'm on my way down. So I actually did. And I noticed that we were going to be on a cliff, and I didn't want what happened last time to happen again. Voice crack, Jesus. So I shot myself away, and then now I'm performing a landing. And doing even more science and accidentally exploding my magnometer. So that was bad. Because I didn't realize it was facing downward. Alright, here's the landing. Now it is quite steep of a slope, but it works just fine. Because this has a really wide base, and it can deal with it. Now, I put this part at only 2 times speed because I wanted you guys to enjoy this. So anyway, we pull out the flag and we name it the first moon landing and all of that stuff, but I didn't really want you to care about this part. I want you to care about what's coming up next. And I think I'm going to be silent during it. So yeah, enjoy our resident daredevil, Jeb Kerman, trying to leave the mun. As you can see, some slight problems. Like three flips, but it was all planned according to Jeb, but I don't think that's correct. Now we're performing an orbit burn in a few seconds. And look at that curb and rise. Curb and rise? Yeah, curb and rise. Now we are seconds away from firing up our engines, and I decided to log even more science, even though I already had it all. So yeah, that was great. Now we are launching ourselves into a circular orbit, and from there I decide to work myself into a burn that will actually end us up in the Kerbin's atmosphere. Alright, now that we are no longer in the Mutton sphere of influence, I decided to take even more measurements and scientific data, which didn't really amount to much. And now we are just trying to slow all the velocity we can before we eventually hit the atmosphere like a brick. And there we go. Now we are just falling at a very fast speed towards the ground. Now I pulled out my parachutes, and as you just saw there, I was almost hit by the second stage from behind, which was kind of disconcerting, but that's okay. It would have only just annihilated Jeb, but that's fine. That's all fine. And that is all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next week on Monday with more Call of Duty. Peace out. Bye.